to welcome back Matthew Bradbury. He's here with his whole family today, so I'm going to make them all stand up. I know they'll hate me from behind me, but I'd like them all to stand up. We have Ben, Josh, Carrie, Sophie, and Matt. And so we really just welcome you guys to our fellowship this morning. We're happy to have Matt back with us. We, as a council, will have recommendations for you next Sunday as we sort through some of the final details of our meeting on Monday. And so we're just going to keep you in suspense on that for another week. But we do pray that, also ask that you guys just continue to steep this next step for us as a church body in your prayers throughout the week, as we have been, and that God will be abundantly clear to all of us. Matt, we're really happy that you're back. We're excited. I had a chance to have a coffee with Matt this week, and it was a great time to get to know him a little better, and also just to discuss, our church. What kind of future do we have in terms of having an impact on our community, being effective for God in our local community, and had some really great conversations, really great ideas, some brainstorming ideas. And Matt comes with a lot of experience working with strategic vision and forward thinking and outside of the box stuff. And so it was a great time, and I feel really confident in Matt, and really happy that he's returned with us this morning. So I'm just going to bring you on back up, Matt.
Thank you, Lisa. Those kind words, reflecting on our time together, was certainly easy to catch the love that Lisa has for this body. And it left me thinking, because of her delight in your heart for reaching your community, just for me as a third party, an unknown brother, looking on the inside from the outside, how has God specifically equipped and prepared the family here at Paul and Friends to impact the community? I know it's something you're already thinking about, but it's kind of part of my heart as I come and share again this morning. It was a real pleasure to hear this week that there was a need to talk, so I'm bringing the word with delight again. I'm going to do something different this morning. I'm just going to read you from 2 Corinthians chapter 3, part of the material that we're going to be thinking about this morning. It's really the context. It's not necessarily the main passage, but it's 2 Corinthians chapter 3. I'm going to read verses 4 to 6. And I'm going to read to you from the New Living Translation just because I love the language for this particular passage. And let me just suggest that you let this marinate into your mind as to where God's confidence is in Him accomplishing His purposes in this world and in your community. It reads, "We are confident of all this because of our great trust in God through Christ. It's not that we think we are qualified to do anything on our own. Our qualification comes from God. He has enabled us to be ministers of His new covenant. This is a new covenant, not written of laws, but of His Spirit. The old written covenant ends in death, but under the new covenant, Spirit gives life." Confidence, and God's confidence, is in Himself as He looks to use us. I'm just going to lead us in prayer, and I want to remind you of a couple of things. We want to keep praying for Terry, whose crushed hip is in recovery. Marjorie Rose, we can continue to pray for her as she's still undergoing the processes with chemo. If you were here last week, you'll know not to isolate Katie, but she did have just a bit of an anxious time at the end of the service. She wasn't feeling well, and she gives praise as to her appointments this week and how she's doing. She's doing much better. So good to see her this morning, Katie doing well. About 3 weeks ago, you prayed for some needs. I didn't know about Stephanie Best, but a young girl that was in a tragic car accident, and her prognosis is really good. She's doing well. She's going to have maybe a year of rehab and hospitalization at Shaver. That's a long time. But she's not on life support. She's doing well. She's moving ahead. And we can give God thanks for that. And we can be confident that God will use that tragic time to bring good out of her life. So we can go to the Father and ask for that. So let's pray and commit ourselves to Him this morning. Father, thank you so much for the way that you work and weave gold in miraculous situations through tragedy. And we thank you so much for how you're working stuff in his life. And we thank you, too, for the way you're sustaining Katie in these days as she's just here worshiping you with us. We ask for continued blessing on Marjorie and Terry as well. And Father, as we realize there's a lot of things we could have been doing this morning, maybe not golfing in the rain, but just things to please ourselves, to take care of some unfinished tasks from a busy week. Thank you for encouraging us to come back to your place, to come back to your family, and to receive from your word. And that's really my prayer this morning as a visiting brother. That you'd be the one to speak through your word this morning, to bring encouragement, to bring challenge, and help us to come back in line. Maybe some of us need a front-end alignment as to what you've got for us. You have indeed made something beautiful of our lives when we come to know you as Savior. And that's precious. I pray that you'd move us and encourage us in how we can be sharing that with others. We ask your blessing on this time, Father. Thank you for the opportunity to worship you in freedom. It's a delight of our heart to sing to you. And Father, as we move on to give back to you through our offerings, our tithes, and we say thank you to you, recognizing it's all yours anyway. And we just want you to take what we're giving back and multiply it and fill it with you. For Jesus' sake, we pray.
Sorry, we'll do the next one.